Hey everybody, this is Tasha and welcome to my channel. This channel is dedicated to bettering yourself, your relationships with a sprinkle of positivity and motivation. Today's video is going to be about how I stopped arguing with my spouse, and hopefully it'll help you stop arguing with your spouse as well. The first thing that I did was I started to listen. This is not easy to do because we all want to be heard. I can't remember who said this, but I know that the saying goes something like, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We need to listen more than we speak. When we are arguing with someone, everybody's yelling, but nobody's getting their point across. Nobody's listening. So if you find yourself arguing with your spouse, just stop. Let them continue arguing or let them continue yelling and really listen. Hear what it is they're really saying. This one, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on, but I feel it is okay to go to bed angry. Sometimes you get so heated and in the moment that no matter how you go about this situation or this argument, you just cannot seem to resolve it. And in that case, somebody needs to step away and just dead the conversation. Just put a pin in it for later. I know for me and my husband, like when we get to this point, we may not speak for a couple of days, depending on how bad the argument or the disagreement is. When we do that, it gives us time to calm down. We sit back and really reflect on the argument. Why did it get to the level that it got to? And after that, we'll re-engage in a lighter tone, cool, calm, and collected, and talk about the situation again. This may not work for your situation, even if your partner or you believe that you should never go to bed angry. But understand that if you're getting to a point in your argument where there is no resolution and you just know that it's not going to be resolved, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to stay up all day and all night just because you guys don't want to go to bed angry? Another thing that I started doing is if something bothers me, I say it. I will tell my husband if he does something that bothers me, especially if it's really, really small. Most arguments, that's how they start. They start with some minute thing, and then it turns into something really, really big. I know that sometimes we don't want to cause a rift in our relationships, so we won't say anything, but then that's how things end up getting built up. If you don't say anything and then they leave a sock on the floor, next thing you know, the gates of hell are open and you are now the devil incarnate. It didn't need to get to that point if you would have just said something in the beginning. Constant communication. You need constant communication in your relationship. I know for me and my husband, we are always having conversations. We have talks about what we fear, what our dreams are, what our goals are. Where do you want the marriage to go? Yes, even us being 15 years in, we still have these conversations, and we still have conversations about each other's needs. And the conversations are not about, I need you to do this or I need you to do that, but more so, I love when you do this for me, or I love when you do that. I know for me, when I say it that way, it makes my husband want to do whatever that thing is more. I believe that all relationships are built on feeling. You have to make your spouse feel good, and they have to feel like they're being heard. If they feel good and they feel heard, you shouldn't have too many arguments. I know me and my husband don't. We still have our disagreements, don't get me wrong, but we don't have as many as we used to. Sometimes if we get into a real heated argument, and we walk away from each other and we'll come back together when we calm down, I'll say to him, like, when you said this is how I took it and this is how I felt. And he'll do the same thing. When you said this is how I took it. When we understand each other, we then can move on from that situation and we can talk about it rather than argue about it. Believe me, I had to grow into this. An immature person will not get this. And I used to be that way. I was the type of person that used to care about my feelings more than I cared about my husband's. And no, you will always have disagreements because we're also different. Disagreements are going to come, especially in a marriage, but you have to learn how to maneuver those disagreements. Hopefully some of these points helped you to alleviate some of the arguments in your marriage, or maybe they're things that you can see and say, maybe I should try this in my marriage or in relationship, and hopefully they will help you. And remember, only you can design the you that you want to be. Thank you guys, and I hope I see you in my next video.